Okay.
Like Ice Cube.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome once again to the Straight Up Podcast, episode number 37. This 9th day of January 2022. I'm DJ Wide Body, and you just saw the cast. Before we get started, shout out to Pop Pop's Woodshop, our sponsor. It's brought to you by Pop Pop's Woodshop. Pop Pop's Woodshop specializes in custom woodworking, coffee tables, china cabinets. They do it all. They're dedicated to providing you with top quality work and the utmost professionalism. Give them a call today, 1-800-286-5233. Use the code PICK. It's 1-800-286-5233. Use the code PICK, Pop Pop's Woodshop. What's going on? Boy, DJ Wild Body here. Shout out to DJ Rec in the chat. See me hustle. Welcome. Happy New Year's to those of you who just catching us. Second broadcast of the year. Before we get started, want to go ahead and cover some quick news. We're going to do that and get on to our topic today. As you guys see on the bottom of the screen, we're going to talk about that a lot. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to our news. All right, really quick. NFL last week. Last week, we have the Colts over the Cardinals, 22-16. Broncos, sorry, that's the wrong one. Thursday, never mind. Let's get to the new schedule. This week, last week of football. Last night, the Chiefs and the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. The Chiefs beat the Broncos 28-24. The Chiefs needed that. Patrick Mahomes, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Cowboys light up the Eagles 51-26. The Cowboys obviously get the division. Now we're just playing for a draft pick. Today, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Bengals at the Browns. Bengals already clinched. They take on the Browns in Cleveland. The Packers, they go down to Ford Field. Detroit take on the Lions. Bears go see the Vikings in Minnesota. Washington football team travel up to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. The Colts come down. Jacksonville taking on the Jaguars. Colts 9-7, Jacksonville 2-14. The Steelers going over to Baltimore. The DMV to take on the Ravens. Steelers 8-7. Ravens 8-8. This is Big Ben's last game as a Steeler or as a football player. Also 1 p.m. the Titans go down to Houston to take on the Texans. Titans 11-5. Texans 4-12. At 4:25, the Saints and the Falcons. Saints go down to ATL to take on the Falcons. Falcons 7-9. Saints it's 500, 8-8. 4:25 as well. The Jets 4-12 go up to Orchard Park to take on the Bills. Division leading Bills 10-6. Also a 4:25 game. 49ers go down to LA from the Bay to take on the Rams. Rams 12-4. Niners 9-7. 4:25 Patriots Dolphins AFC East matchup. Dolphins way out of it. Patriots got a chance to take the wild card. They're 10-6. They take on the Dolphins today at 4:25. Also, 4:25, the Seahawks, 12th man, going down to Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals 11-5, Seahawks 6-10. And 4:25, Panthers and the Buccaneers. Panthers go down to the Banks of Barrel to take on the 12-4 Bucks minus AB. 8:20 game tonight. Chargers and the Raiders. Raiders at home at Las Vegas. Chargers going down. Chargers 9-7. Raiders 9-7. Don't know how that situation plays out. But that's it for that. Moving along, NBA standings, top 5. Eastern Conference, 76ers, number 5, 22-16. At 4, the Bucks at 26-16. Number 3, Miami Heat, 25-15. Number 2, the Nets, 24-13. And alone top by 3 games at number 1 is the Bulls at 26-10. Moving along to the Western Conference, top 5, the Mavericks, 21-18 at 5. At 4, the Grizzlies, 27-14. At number 3, the Jazz, 28-12. At number 2, the Warriors, 29-9. And number 1, still for the second week. Well, this comes back and forth. Suns are back on top this week, 30-9. Stats. Points per game. Joel Embiid, 76ers at 5, 26.8 points a game. Number 4, Trae Young, Hawks, 28.3 points a game. Number 3, Giannis at 28.5 points a game. Number 2, LeBron James at 28.7 points a game. And at number 1, Kevin Durant, 29.9 points a game. Wow. LeBron James at 37, second place, almost right there in the scoring title reach. In Neptune, New Jersey right now. Sorry. In Atlanta is 49 degrees. Los Angeles is 54 degrees. And Neptune, I think it's 43 degrees, 78% humidity. Chance of rain, 80% chance of rain. And in Florida right now, it's 77 degrees and it's sunny.
And the whole Florida, 77?
Just in my area, man.
Oh, okay. I thought
would you like my direct? Would you like my
I mean, you said everywhere else.
Whether my county?
You said Neptune.
Would you like at 77 where I'm at in Florida, man?
Okay. All right.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing, man? Everybody good?
Good.
All right. Welcome, everybody. We got the whole band back together. Once again, shout out in the chat. RTO Beats, the homie. See Me Hustle and DJ Rec. No boxing last night. Real quick, Adrian, not Adrian, what's his goddamn name? AB, Antonio Brown. Everybody everyone see what happened with that last week and walking off the field and the stuff that's going on with that?
Man, we saw it, but we don't know the whole truth. There's so many rumors they saying.
What do you think happened?
The only thing we know is
gave you the truth, at least his side.
I mean, yeah, he said he was injured.
That nigga been spilling his guts every day since that shit happened.
Yeah, but he got to it because he's trying to be on another NFL team. You got to make it sound good.
Would you pick him up?
No.
I would.
You would?
I'd take
him?
No.
Yep.
Man, I mean, I don't like how he did Brady. I think
you got to listen when people tell you who they are. You got to listen. Bro.
Right. I mean, do we knock Brady for being? I mean,
how you not knock Brady, bro?
Yeah, man, but you knew
the fuck you gonna knock Brady? It's not Brady's job to give him extra money. It's not Brady.
He didn't really knock him, did he? Did he knock him?
I didn't. Yeah, boy, fucking kid, man, he slaughtered that nigga.
He's not my friend. He only likes me because I'm good at football.
But he didn't say he's not my friend. He didn't say that. Now,
man,
he put it that way.
This boy threw Brady all the way under the bus. Talk about, man, Gronk is his. He said, if I was his boy, why did I have to sign for this much money? Gronk is his boy.
Okay. I didn't
Gronk
see all that.
This kind of money.
I heard that.
I'm the best receiver on the team. Who he threw Mike Evans under the bus. I'm the best receiver on the team.
All right, I didn't see all that then.
Gronk didn't.
Now if he did that, then yeah.
He be throwing him off. He be throwing everybody under the bus. This motherfucker, there's no accountability there.
Yep.
Is no self-reflection on hey, I if the dude said, hey, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have walked off the field, I shouldn't have did all that shit.
Yeah.
But not once you heard him say any of that shit. He's constantly throwing everybody else under the bus. It's everybody else's fault.
Right, except for yours. I think he has a problem. You think he needs to? You think he got some kind of?
They said he wasn't like that before he got he got hit. They said that's when.
A lot of people putting it on that when he got hit.
Yeah, he got lit up by Vontaze Burfict and shit. Man.
I don't know. I think for before Antonio Brown takes the field again, he has to go to some kind of some therapy or something like that. Maybe take a look at him because you remember Antonio Brown been
supposedly he did that before though. Supposedly that was one of the.
I mean, him sitting down for a couple minutes to satisfy some court order or some team's wishes. I mean, seriously,
it's not because he wants to do it. It's because somebody else is requiring.
Right. So. But it's kind of leading trail away into our topic for today.
Right.
Last night, POD podcast, Brother More D, we're talking about childhood trauma and stuff. We're gonna trail away into we basically mental health in the Black community, depression, anxiety, all types of things leading into that as far as the way we deal with mental the way we deal with mental issues, the way, you know, we go back to our parents' generation and how everyone says suck it up, and the lasting effects from being untreated as far as mental illness is concerned, with you know, people using other things to cope with things and taking them to bring them into another world. Depression, a lot of people suffer from that. We're going to talk a lot about that today, just not myself, but definitely a group discussion today. And the chat, you guys want to chime in, you're more than welcome to. So we want to start there. So I'll start the question asking, why is mental health taboo in our communities, especially as Black men? What do you guys think?
I would say we have to be strong. That's what we're told to be. We have to be strong, not to cry. You know, control your emotions. Which, you know, now I look back on it, is not a good thing. In certain situations, yeah, I get it.
Right.
But eventually you're gonna have to let some feelings out. And I think everything, like as a Black man, we just bottle so much up, and there's no outlet for that. So we use that in a negative manner. We get depressed, we hold it in, we get depressed. And it's just different. So many scenarios can play into that.
Right.
I think also as a part of our upbringing, and as Black men, most of us brought up by single, you know what I mean? Most Black men, there's not a secret, are brought up by single moms and shit. Not everybody, but most. And so in a matriarchal society, we're kind of brought up as to sacrifice and to the pleasing of others, our families, our women, whatever else, but with no self-satisfaction, you know. So it's all about, for us, for Black men, it's all about sacrificing, and it's no reward. Sacrificing ourselves and everything we do, you know. We die earlier than you know, our women do, and for Black men, it's just all about sacrificing. And you know,
so let me ask real quick, brother, more deep. You guys, can you enlighten the panel as well as the chat on what was discussed last night on the POD podcast? Let's bring us up to speed, if you don't mind.
Well, we dealt with childhood trauma and how it affects you as an adult. Childhood trauma pretty much is the bulk of the ingredient that goes into your psychology and produces a particular result down the road. And we got into, dealing with the fact that what we're talking about today, it's a taboo topic, but at the same time, there's things that go on in families, especially Black families, that nobody wants to talk about, because those topics would, to a degree, destabilize a lot of families' balance, just bringing certain things up. And a lot of people in Black families don't discuss certain things because they don't want to disturb the ecosystem of everybody being, quote unquote, in a positive or peaceful or happy space. When you dig up things that the family don't know about, or they do know about, they just don't talk about. And that causes cycles to repeat. So what we delved into is our personal stories growing up and how it affected us later on in life. And it was a very in-depth conversation, because to a degree, you know, me personally, I played a part in other people's childhood trauma. From a very innocent parameter, though, you know. Like, you know, Pot shared a story about, you know, as a youth being picked on.
Yeah. And
keep in mind, we also elaborated, we come from an area where joking, laughing, cracking, and stuff like that was just a part of our culture.
Yeah.
We laughed a lot. But everybody is going to process that different. It's not like you're going to have a conversation with the person before you crack on them. You don't know where their head's at. You don't know what they're going through at home.
Right.
You're just having fun. But, you know, I learned, here we are in, you know, way down the road up in age. And I'm hearing, not that I personally played a part in a person's dissatisfaction of how they saw themselves, but I can honestly say I probably was a drop in the bucket to that, you know, and that in itself allowed us to have an open conversation and to a degree heal, because it was some, you know, there was people in the chat that were, had they known, they were saying had they known certain things, they would have, you know, supported, you know, individuals a lot more. But, you know, even I was shocked by some of the stories because, like I said, we laughed a lot. I didn't know what my close friends were going through at home. I was going through my own shit at home. Nobody knew that shit, but I laughed a lot, and nobody knows. You just don't know.
Right.
So, and it's a discussion that's still being had even after the show. We, you know, messages are flying around and people are like, yo, it's some real shit.
Dope.
Wow.
You know, too, like, you remember Darnell, right? I used to kill Darnell.
Oh, I was going to bring up
Glisten?
Darnell. I was going to bring up Darnell. I'm glad you said that.
Darnell Glisten?
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
kill Darnell 24/7. I'm just thinking about it, man. I used to just put him on the spot, yo. Even
All the time.
He had a
I
big
was an
family
evil
too.
motherfucker. I was kind of evil.
They could have
I know
jumped your
dudes
ass.
in jail right now that and I remember as kids, bro, and you know, and you know, Drake, you did, we all got, everybody, you know what I mean? Nobody was immune to getting, you know what I mean? But at the same time, some people got it more than others, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people we all know that grew up with, and I, you know, say
Hey,
names,
Pat.
but some people is just in jail right
Pat.
now because they just never dealt with.
I want to say,
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I made, you know, I think about now as far as, you know, with your school you went to, and I'm not saying it to be joking, but a lot of times I took advantage of that and used it for a punchline and the butt of the joke too. And as I've gotten older, I've never really told you this, man, but as I got older, man, I kind of regret doing that at the time. But I was just going with the flow of the crowd. Even though your school wasn't that, we turned it into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just
As a
joking.
punchline,
That's
yeah.
what we do. That's what we
But
do.
you know what? I was
punchline,
going on with things in my life too, and I felt that was kind of therapy for me to you know, just
To
I ain't gonna say it.
downside somebody else, right?
Yeah.
In a sense. Like Dre
make
was
them
saying.
feel your pain. Let them feel
Right.
your pain a little
He was
bit.
going on with stuff, you know, and then, you know, shit I was going through. It's like, you know, I mean, you talking like a lot of years, and I'm not too I'm not I'll go ahead and say, you know, I've been to therapy in the last few years. I've been actually a few times. I went when I was in the military. That was kind of mandatory. But yeah, man, that's for me lashing out, holding things bundled up inside and just exploding. And then when you explode, it don't matter where you're at. And at that time, it looks like you didn't lost your mind, but in fact, you're releasing. And I've learned a lot that the way I carry on is because of what things that I've been through as a youth. Not just me in the household, things that I've saw that my brain wasn't ready to see and process. And to hold on to things and to sweep things under the rug and not make a big deal about it because it could mess with the stability up of a family or someone. So to hold on to that and just can't take it anymore. And someone says, hey, damn, all I said was, what's up? And you just black out on somebody. Yeah, it's built up tension and stuff that you've been holding in for a long time. And all it takes is that one
person.
thing to set it off.
Does.
But you know what? I mean, but sometimes you don't even know that you got trauma from certain things.
Right.
You don't know what it is. And I'm gonna tell you that. I'm bringing this back up. When I took the mushrooms, yo, they are like psychiatrists.
Really?
Yo, your life be playing back in your head, but you got to be somewhere secluded, off in your thoughts. So shit from my past was playing back in my head. I'm not doing this now. These the mushrooms.
I've done that off of weed too, though. I've done that.
But weed different, man. Mushrooms
I
are
don't
really
know. I swear
talking
to
to you,
God,
bro.
one time, man, because they got the dispensaries out here, so I had some weed water. Like they got the water out here that's THC, that's weed infused. You know what I mean? So they tell you take like 20 like don't take over 20 milligrams. But I went to I'm not measuring. Like they got a little measuring thing inside the bottle, but I'm mad it went to like 30 or something, man. And yeah, I couldn't sleep the whole night, man. I went through my entire life like in my head, yo. I swear to God, like every moment of my life.
Yeah. Okay, but the way I see with weed just make you think deep.
I can't.
Mushrooms control your thoughts.
weed
They,
has me.
they
bugged
are
out.
doing it to you. It's like you sitting in front of a psychiatrist, and they are
mushrooms is
playing
like
it back in your
psychedelic.
mind.
Weed is something
Saying,
totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah, the
Mushrooms is
psychedelic. Yeah,
psychedelic.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Yo, that fucked me up. I was
I
like,
popped mushrooms a
wow.
couple times. I was paralyzed. I couldn't even move.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, mushrooms?
Yeah, weed
Yeah.
makes me paranoid, man. I think too much.
Yeah,
and
because you think too much. That's the
and
difference with weed.
it turns my stomach,
Yeah.
man. Just thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
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 Mushrooms are going to fuck with you though, but it's supposed to be uncomfortable if you do it spiritually. I ain't talking about people who just want to get high and fucked up. I'm
Right.
talking about if you take it to a spiritual sense,
Yeah.
this
Right, you
shit
can't
right
do
here is gonna
mushrooms every
reveal
day.
some shit to you. Yeah, it's gonna
Right.
reveal it to
I'm
you.
scared.
But see,
Even
that was
I'm
your-
scared of that shit.
Right, just like that mushrooms kind of work certain like that. Certain weed was working for me when I was
Yeah.
thinking everyone's out to get me. Like,
Yeah, that's
I'm-
more paranoia. That's thinking too hard.
I don't like being paranoid, bro.
That
'cause
mushroom shit is a whole nother experience. I
People
would suggest
knocking on your
everybody
door.
try it one time, man.
I
Cause
don't know.
this,
You
yo,
sound like
but-
doing some people right now.
but you got to go to
I'm your pushing man.
yeah, but don't just do it like I just want to get high. I was in a spiritual like room
Straight up
with a
podcast
dude.
not advocating the use of drugs.
Yeah. I was actually in a room with a dude. And he
Pablo
on some
Chalk,
spiritual
what
shit.
do? Better know
He
your
actually do some.
strains. Real
He
shit.
actually do some spiritual shit with you. So it was
Right.
different. It ain't just trying to get high.
But
Believe
let
me, if you try them, it's gonna make you. What I'm trying to explain to you,
Right.
when it's making you feel uncomfortable in your thoughts, it's doing its job. You're not supposed to be in there happy thinking about pussy. This shit is gonna take you to your trauma. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Some people claim they see other beings from other dimensions. I slightly saw that, and that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother podcast.
I won't be trying that.
Yeah,
For the record.
but forget that part because that was brief.
All right.
That
Well,
took me to some shit in my past, man, that I didn't even know was there and made me think real hard. But I wasn't thinking about it. This shit made me think about it.
let me real quick. I know some of the effects of untreated mental illnesses is the worsening of it, unexplained aches and pains, chronic physical health problems, homelessness, and job stability issues, incarceration, victimization and trauma, suicide, things of that nature.
Suicide's a big
untreated.
one.
And I say that to say, I see there's a lot of people that use drugs to escape, pills, cocaine, anything they can get their hand on to kind of escape. And I think we
Use or
all-
abuse?
I think abuse,
I
man.
say abuse, yeah.
Right, because you trying to escape, you trying to treat yourself,
Yeah.
you're trying to
Self-medicate. Yeah.
self-medicate.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stuff has to do with untreated mental illnesses, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
y'all think about that.
No, I
Then
agree.
you find yourself kind of expressing that those things are good for you because they put you in a good place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're not
that's what
really
I
dealing
think.
with the issues.
You're not dealing with
Right.
the issues. Yeah, it's brief. It's just suppressing it. It's not going.
Yeah, but they think it's
I've gone
good.
through that. I've gone through
It's
alcoholism. You know what I mean? Like as a young dude, man, I went through medication, self-medicated with alcohol and shit. And, you know what I mean? To the point where I decided that I woke up one day on my birthday and decided, man, I'm not drinking anymore. And
Dope,
I
man.
didn't drink again for 11 years, but my life was like spiraling
Good
out
shit,
of
man.
control. You know what I mean?
Pablo Chalk says in the chat, those untreated traumas can be passed along in a cycle to your offspring unknowingly. I agree with that too.
Word.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree
true.
with that too.
That shit is handed down. Some of it's handed down.
Especially alcoholism. A lot of that is.
Yeah, man. That's
I'm saying that runs the whole families.
Yeah.
That runs the whole
Listen,
families.
My father actually said that. He said that to me.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
that he felt like he passed down. When my father got clean, in his life, he said that's when my life started to kind of spiral out of control, and he felt guilty that he passed things, his sins, down to me, and then I was
Right.
spiraling, and that's when he had to reach down and try to pull me out of the, you know what I mean, the downward spiral I was in at the time. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
Because
That's
that runs
deep.
on my father's side deep. Like all of them were alcoholics. My grandfather, I think my brother, my uncle.
Mine too.
It's definitely on my father's side.
yeah, if you're not careful, you can.
Yeah, you gotta be
So it
careful.
runs
about
both
it.
sides, my family. That drugs. So
Bring it in.
I don't do nothing but drink energy drinks, man. That's my,
That's oof.
That's a
Yeah.
drug
Stop.
too.
one a day, one a day. In,
It's not really
in
good for
moderation,
you either.
man.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
But pay
Heart
dues on the way.
You looking forward to heart failure in the future. You keep drinking them energy drinks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what it do.
I mean,
Speed
I
of
used
your
to
heart rate.
listen. I cut out a lot of stuff, but you know what? I kind of see a lot of my people in my family have passed away at a young age. My father's side suffers.
Ooh.
A lot of my uncles died of
That's
from heart
scary.
attacks. My mother's side, diabetes, things of that nature, mental health issues.
Shit, how many people we know? How many people? If you on Facebook and shit like that, how many people we know that passed away?
Matter of fact, while we at it, I want to say rest in peace because I heard my boy Paul passed.
Yeah,
Big
I know.
Paul, man.
Hey, that
Big
shit
Paul.
fucked me up too, man. Yeah,
On the 11th?
Paul Williams.
Nah, he from Asbury. From
Yeah.
Asbury.
Oh, R.I.P.
Big Paul. He was a big fast motherfucker. Oh man,
Oh, I
Paul
think
was my boy, man. I
Alright.
think his last name is Williams.
Yeah, Paul
moment
Williams.
of silence
Yeah.
moment of silence for Paul, real quick.
You talking
Moment of
about the one that
silence,
lived on
y'all.
Palm
Moment of
Top?
silence.
Yeah, I think it big.
Yeah,
he was big.
that was my man. That's
Yeah,
my
Paul
man.
Williams,
Paul.
man.
Paul Williams, man.
Yo,
Damn.
you talking about T Lamp pot when he trucked T Lamp?
Yeah, I mean that's the only time when he like I
Yeah.
can think of his face when he he smiled. I
Yeah,
know T-
yeah. Yeah, man. Because
What about
because he was like a fat dude. So I never seen him play. He was fast as hell though. He was a fast fat dude. If he played football, his grades was bad. But if he played football, oh my God, he'd have been great. But rest in peace, Paul, man. Rest in peace, man. There was some good times out there in that gridiron. Bangs Avenue in high school. We had some good games out there. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Paul. Let me ask y'all a question, and this is for the panel. You guys can let me know if not. Have any of you think or been diagnosed or not undiagnosed with PTSD?
I know I got it, bro. I know.
I don't even know what the hell that means. What does
It's
it mean?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Post-traumatic,
See some scary or
Yeah, I
dangerous
have it.
stuff.
Yeah, I think we all got that. It's just
think we
that
all-
I think so too. Growing up in, I grew up
Yeah.
on Dewood Avenue and in Lincoln Village. So I'm, and you know, besides me even being in the military, all the shit that I just experienced just growing up and shit. I know I got that shit.
Yeah, I probably do too, man, because I moved around so much, man. You know, partner, I live with him and his mother, live with my father. You know, my mother died early. A lot of you know that.
Yeah.
I always moved
flashbacks and
around.
things?
And I
Yeah.
was getting them flashbacks off the mushrooms, what I'm telling you.
I think it's
Yeah.
downtime.
Yeah, you
I
got
think
it,
it's
bro.
downtime for all of us because I go through it about one day a week. I go through a low depression. You know what I mean? I fall real hard and I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially driving in a truck, man. I go through my life cycle every time I jump in the truck.
Yeah, because it's just you.
Hours, dog. So it's like you basically looking at your life from the beginning to the end when you drive in the truck every day because you driving 2 hours here, 3 hours there. All you're doing is thinking about your life and listening to music and what you could. That's basically the whole psychology in being a truck driver. That's your life. It's just thinking about. It's like your future, like where you going. You done did this. You done did it. Every day. It's like you go to school with that shit, and sometimes you come out depressed a little bit. You get better. You start feeling good about it because when that's good, you start feeling better. Drive. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. But yeah, once a week I go through a low depression level, like real bad.
For me, I wasn't diagnosed with post-traumatic or nothing, but I was diagnosed with epilepsy, which traumatic experience can cause that.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it was my kids moving to the other side of the country.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
Like that was pretty much a shock to my system, and that's when my issues started happening.
Right.
And it's a form of mental health. It is because I get the depression, anxiety. I get all that, and the medication actually causes that also. So it's kind of like a fight for me. I have to be aware of it when it happens, which I'm kind of getting used to now, but still just dealing with when to hold yourself back, when to check yourself, not to spaz out on nobody. It's it's a constant fight, but you know what I mean. And like I said, it was a traumatic experience that caused that.
And you're being treated right now for it. Am I correct?
Excuse me.
And you're being treated actually. Are you?
Yeah. Prescription meds, which that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But it causes issues, plays with your mind. And for me, like I said, for me to be, to keep myself grounded, I'm just aware of it and just try to check myself as much as I can. Now, I never been to counseling, and I'm not opposed to it. I just never took that step.
You in counseling now, brother.
For sure, always
form
counsel
of it,
myself.
yeah.
You are correct. I look in the mirror, I counsel myself all the time, every day, you know.
Show is counseling shit.
But at the same time, I'm still
Certain
human.
degree, yeah.
You know what I mean? I do snap in situations I probably shouldn't be snapping it.
Oh, I know.
You know, but that comes from, you know, the issues that I had. You know, and I'm aware of it. And like I said, sometimes, you know, it will get the best of me. But most times I try to keep it in check. I try.
Yeah.
Constant battle right there.
That's
I
definitely a constant battle.
All right. Let me ask this, and this is kind of what about depression? The panel, the chat. I know real quick before I start, RTO Beat says he did with his surgeries. As you know, RTO had you know, his heart surgery and stuff, replacement. And he's also had a few situations that messed him up mentally. So, you know, as far as flashbacks and things that PTSD, that's real stuff out there. And like, you know, I think I know I have, but you know, I don't know, at the time I'm young, I don't understand all that there is to understand about it. But also you have depression. Have any of us on the panel ever been through depression or get depressed?
Yeah, same. Like once a week. I go to depression once. I mean, I have a day of depression once a week. And I, you know, try to, you know, go through it like I said, driving and stuff. You know, you think about things and you think about this, and that's why I kind of erase everything just to eliminate.
You definitely got to be aware of it. You have to know, like Pasha, you got to be aware of it, or that shit'll eat you up.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to be aware of it. You got to find the outlet. There has to be some outlet, a space of peace somewhere. You gotta find that somewhere.
Right.
I don't care what you're doing.
Training and all that stuff, dog. That's my outlet. Doing all that kind of stuff is like my world. When I start getting into that world, I forget about the other world. You know.
You're kind of in the meditation realm too. Like, you know, when that's your meditation time. That time that you are depressed should be the time that you're meditating. That's crazy.
Yeah, meditating and thinking about it is the same. Yeah, I guess depression, and while you depress, you sit there and you take some breaths and you can't take life too seriously. And that's the big thing. You can't take things like you know what I mean? It's like you trying to fit in this category. You trying to like put yourself in here, like I'm not there yet. This is going on, and this is. You got to just sit back and let that go sometimes, man. You got to
like for me, you got to be in the moment. Like, you can't worry about the past. Like, and I'm still figuring this out. You can't live in the past. You can't sit in the moment, like moments in the past. You have to be in the now.
Right.
Like you have to live in today. You can't go back and sit in a space that happened a month ago, 2 months ago, last week. You gotta keep, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep thinking forward.
That's like a sickness, man. Living in the past is pretty much like a sickness.
And it's a human, I think it's a human, something that it's there to remind us never to go back to. So I think it's like, we got to look at it like that too. Like that's why we can't
learn from it.
Because it's like,
it's there to learn from, not to dwell in.
Right. Yeah.
Here's my question.
I ain't messing with this person because this person done showed me something that I seen in the past. So I ain't messing with this person. So you got to use it like a weapon instead of something that's tearing you apart. You know what I mean? You got to. So that's probably ways we could look at depression too.
I got a question. You know, I did couples counseling, but I never went to a personal counselor or anything, and I probably need that shit. You know what I mean? But when you're in the middle, and so I don't know if I'm depressed. I don't know I don't know. You know what I mean? I know the definition of depression, but I don't know if, you know what I mean, that's something that I go through, because I don't even allow myself to think like that. You know what I'm saying? And that in itself could be a issue, you know?
Yeah, well, you can be depressed and not even know it. You know
not even realize it, right? You know what I mean?
Living your best life, and you could be doing things to escape from other things. You thinking it's happiness, but you're doing these things to escape from, you know what I mean, other.
Now, depression, I understand that depression is anger turned within. I was always taught to be accountable. You know what I mean? My dad always taught me, you know what I mean? You can't even, but let me get to my point. He's like, instead of pointing the finger at, you know, at my mom for shit that happened in my life, you know what I mean? He taught me, you know, whoever you pointing the finger at, you got 3 pointing back at you. You know what I mean? If you're in a situation whatever, regardless of whatever the situation is, you know what I mean? And I used to get in a lot of trouble when I was young, man. He was always getting arrested and, you know, just dumb shit, you know what I mean? And he was just like, you know, you're always pointing the finger at other people, but you're in the situation. So you had to take accountability for being in the situation. It don't matter what somebody else did, you know what I mean? It don't matter if somebody snitched on you. It don't matter what the situation is. You were there. So you're accountable to that. You know what I'm saying? It's your fault, basically. You know what I mean? So I grew up under that, and I took that, you know what I mean, to heart. So anytime I don't like a situation, you know, you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results. So you got to change something,
right?
Change whatever you can control. So he taught me, and those are good principles. I feel like to live by. But at the same time, it's kind of led me to a path of like the fucking Lone Ranger and shit. You know what I mean? Like just a solo existence. You know what I mean? Through my time in the military, I've had friends everywhere. You know what I mean? I've always picked up friends, but I've always been the solo cat, man. You know what I mean? To the point to, you know, where I'm at now, it's like I was almost like I don't know how well I fit in with, you know what I mean? I have a job, I work with people, obviously, you know what I mean? But my life is generally led fucking solo, bro. You know what I mean? It's like literally just me all the time. And you know, I don't do the drugs, I don't do the vices. You know, I like to shop a little bit, but you know,
that's what you do when you by yourself, basically that's your medicine. Shopping, wasting money on shit.
Real quick, Pablo Chalk, before we go on, life in general can bring us all down. The way we process information mentally. I've been to counseling multiple times, bouts with depression and anxiety, prescription meds and all. Pablo Chalk says also, it all works mentally, but honestly, it's not as simple as it seems to control it all. That's the truth. Also, he says suppressing your feelings can be a sign of depression, bro. Trigger response, feelings are natural.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and here's where I was trying to get to, is that when you're in the, I hate to call it a spiral, but when you're in the situation where you're in the midst of depression or whatever, you know what I mean? Call it whatever you want to call it, but you're in a rut or whatever. What's some recommendations to pull yourself out of this type of situation?
Your goals, your the things that you desire is usually that's the way you usually go. Is like your desires are like the key. When you avoid your desires, everything around you becomes like it just clouds you. You know what I mean? Like when you're not following your path or things that you truly want to do or be, even being yourself or expressing yourself as you, and not trying to have society accept you as something else because you're afraid to be you because society gonna fucking tear you apart. All that stuff has something to do with that. So when you know,
I would say personal accomplishments, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like small personal accomplishments can pretty much get you out of that rut.
Yep. If you're not doing what you love,
positive thinking, positive reinforcement, all that, and like I said, personal accomplishments can kind of.
That's where I find that really deep, right there.
And then your hormones too. You got to think about that. Your hormones are actually going crazy too.
What you eat, all that plays a part.
I eat fucking terribly.
That plays a part.
I always want to escape something that makes me happy.
The more go ahead. I'm about to say something about testosterone, but go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I think that's a sign too of like testosterone issues too. You know what I mean? Because the higher your testosterone is like the more happier and the more, you know what I mean? The more manly you feel, the more manly you feel. You know what I mean? So I think it's also, you know, these foods affect our testosterone, and the way we think affects our testosterone too when we get caught up in our emotions, because that's more of a female trait. I mean, not saying men don't, like you were saying, but we think different. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like it's not what you call weak emotions, but when we're not trying to, when we don't feel confident, our bodies break down on us, man.
I think we put us as men put a big tag on how we can't feel and how we actually feel. I think that's a big thing to carry on our shoulders, man. It's like, you know, men ain't supposed to cry, or Men aren't supposed to be emotional. Well, goddamn.
That's what I was taught. That's how I was taught, man. It's like you don't have time for that shit. You don't have time for feelings,
but
any feelings.
And that's when the mental issues come into play, because there has to be an outlet for that. I thought the same too. Like I said, I'm learning within these past 4 or 5 years. Like, yo, all these years you holding this in. Now everything comes rushing out. Now it's uncontrollable.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you got to get back in control. You know what I mean? But you got to control it in a way to where you got to have a release.
Right.
A man can cry. I don't give a fuck how strong you are.
You usually cry when you're angry.
Right.
Men,
A man has to cry.
angry.
A man has to be happy. There's different type of emotions, and we got to hit all of them. You cannot shy away from one emotion.
All right,
we gotta accept all of them.
Yeah. Now, Pac, I heard this from you before. I don't know if anybody else. It probably sound left field, but I remember you told me you was going through it. You was depressed at one point, and when you grew a beard, you didn't care about anything anymore.
Damn.
Now, is that real or is that just you personally? Do other people feel that way? You said something about a beard just made him not care no more. I thought about that shit. Like, damn, should I grow a beard, a big beard?
So
it probably was more the like you said, the setting of a goal.
Yeah.
That's you just releasing and letting it go when you grew
Psychological
you said fuck it.
Yeah, just letting it go.
Like
You know what? I don't care what.
Like a man.
Yeah.
I think that goal shit is super important though, because like you know what I mean? Like I think we become men are we're goal oriented naturally, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But sometimes either through accomplishing goals or maybe even a failure to accomplish goals, sometimes guys I think can get in that rut, man, where you just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like either you accomplish your goals and then you a failure to set, you know what I mean, further goals to stretch yourself, almost like when you go to the gym and you know what I mean, I'm bench pressing 135 now, and instead of setting a new goal, you just stick with 135 all the time. You know what I mean? Like you're not,
then it's gonna get old. Yeah,
you're not growing. Yeah, you're not growing.
Stagnant.
So
You're pretty much stagnant.
right. Yeah, you're stagnating yourself.
Real quick, Joanne in the chat, welcome to the chat. She said, be the change you want to see. It sounds easy. It's not. It's definitely not. However, it is possible. So many avenues available to help yourself. Books, music, therapy, meditation. Mine is music, man.
Music is one of the best
I escape from music, man. This is my area.
I think most
when I'm
people
going
use
through
music.
it.
Yeah.
I come home, I have a hard day, crazy day at work. I come home, I flip the switch on, throw some music on, and then start creating, man. And I escape. That's my reality escape, man. It's so therapeutic. There's other things for people: walking, doing crossword puzzles,
working out,
things that we do, working out.
Yeah, but okay. What was I about to say? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Sorry.
I think one of the things that nobody's really.
Damn, you hearing that? I thought you took a vacation. Okay.
Nah, I'm just listening, man. A lot of things that are being offered up are good. They're good band-aids, but nobody's really talking about the actual causes. And that's the nucleus of the entire subject matter. What is causing you to be that way? And that's what needs to be delved deep into. And once you get to the cause, you can have a better selection of solutions to not repeat the cycles. And another thing I want to say is, if you're deep in your thoughts, like Pop was talking about driving in the truck and having that alone time, typically when we're by ourselves, doing something repetitively, like if you're driving, you get into a zone. It's just you. That causes you to go into a trance-like state. So you'll start thinking about and reflecting on things in your life or something that's going on in your life. But the thing is, you will get to certain areas in your mind that will trigger an emotion. And you may feel some type of way about it. That's completely natural. The thing is, depression is when you are stuck in a bubble of those down feelings and you don't know how to shake it. Your life can be going great around you and everybody can observe you being you probably have good money, you got all the chicks, you got everything that a person typically could want, and you still are in this bubble of being down. that's depression. Because no matter what's going on around you, you are down.
Which is why you have so many celebrities and shit, and people
Taking
that we
themselves.
assume are in a great
Right.
circumstance.
Got
that are
millions
fucking
of dollars.
And they are so knowledgeable too. When you listen to them on interviews, those celebrities from hitting rock bottom and having so much, they become spiritual. They do all kinds of stuff. It's like they find they take a whole different path.
So let's not equate being in our own minds and reflecting on our lives and getting to a space that might be emotional for us. Feelings are natural, and it's going to make you feel a certain type of way. That's not depression. That's just you being human.
Right.
And you need to give your emotions their just due. That's what, as men, and I learned that from my spiritual teacher. You have to give your emotions their just due. You don't have to stay there, but you gotta allow them to have their moment based on whatever's going on in your life. And then you move on as a man. You don't get stuck there. You move on.
Yeah.
But
I believe their messages too, to like tell you like, okay, this is something you need to fix, but I'm gonna stay here because you ain't really fixing it. You ain't trying to fix it either.
Yeah, that's real.
so men,
so still men got that chamber back there. Go ahead.
Not really dealing with their emotions. I know we kind of got this programming from some of our elders to not, tune into shit that's natural. And we have to change that narrative. That's just what it is. We can talk about it all day. We have to change that narrative. And there's nothing wrong with changing that narrative. But the thing is, we have to really have the conversation about the ingredients that went into creating the mindsets that we have today as young Black men or older Black men. Nobody wants to have that discussion because now you're peeling back the layers of, okay, how was my home life? How was my relationship with my mom? How was my relationship with my dad? Did something tragic happen to me as a kid? Was I picked on? Was I made to be
me right there?
Yeah. Was I made to be less than, if you're a girl, was I made to feel less than, girl-like? Did my mom show me emotion? Did my dad tell me love me? All of this stuff is ingredients that goes into creating the mindset that we're discussing right now, but we're not really having that real taboo discussion.
You know what's funny is that shit you just said triggered an emotion in me. Because immediately, I'm gonna tell you how I felt. Immediately, as soon as you started talking about that shit, what happened that sound just like excuses to me, and it makes me angry to hear when I get angry when I hear people say that shit, because it sounds like excuses for your life being fucked up, right? Because so many people have these things. Well, why, you gotta say, one of your deadbeat buddies or whatever. Like, why you don't have a job? And they start going into, my home. It's just like excuses to me. And it's like, I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So as you said that just now, it's so funny because that shit triggered that emotion to me. And it just made me fucking angry to even hear that shit.
Now, here's the question. Why?
Why? That's what I'm saying. Now that's what I'm asking myself.
You gotta go in that door.
Like you probably
always say this.
And let people control you, maybe like more like you having excuses because you let people lead you and not be strong enough to lead yourself. Maybe let people lead you into something and you're using them leading you into a place where you wasn't gonna, like things didn't work your way because you let people lead you instead of you leading yourself. Maybe that's why he see it as weak because
I've always said that why is simultaneously the worst and at the same time the best question that you can ask. Why something happens or why something is the way it is, you can't, none of you can give me a satisfactory question to my why question. None of you can do that. Only I can give myself a satisfactory question to why. Right. That's why I say it's simultaneously the worst question and also the best question that you can ask.
You know what you need to do?
But
nobody else can explain.
But what about psychologists? Psychologists can't answer your whys for you. That's their job. To say, why are you so angry? Let's go into your past.
Accept it. You may accept somebody else telling you a why, but really, honestly, in my mind, I'm the only one that can satisfactorily answer a why question for myself.
That's kind of ego too.
You just said it.
I don't know what it
is. No. Cooper's right, but you just said it. You said it's up to you to accept that reality.
Yeah.
And if you don't accept it, you can't get help in that area.
Yeah.
It just stays the way it is because you won't accept it. That's a block. That's your block. Yeah. You creating that block in your mind. Nobody's doing that but you. And until you accept certain things, you can't change it.
And that's true, because we're sitting here and we're saying, well, why is this? Why is certain things a certain way? We're all building on that, and to a certain degree, we either accept the consensus response or reason that we all come up with, or we don't. You know what I mean? Individually, and sometimes, yeah, exactly. So sometimes you may accept it, sometimes you may not. Well, I'm just saying, my whole point is that why is something that you have to.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Real quick. Hold on. In the chat. Real quick. Paulo Chalk said, you're talking about the mindset, your environment, the people and circumstances will affect your mindset or way of thinking. He also said you can't answer that question if you're suppressing it. The why.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Which I'm saying is a lot to do with ego. We talked about that earlier this week.
Yeah,
Ego
because hear me out here. For me to sit in a room with a complete stranger and pour my guts out, knowing that I'm here to get fixed, and I'm gonna have to say things that I've been suppressing so many years, is one of the most, for me, was the most craziest thing I ever had to do in my life. To sit here and let go of some of the stuff that I've been holding on to, and to find out definitely the whys, because the way I am with me, my anger and me, this exploding was how I was raised and how I came up.
Exactly. And you got to take that mental block out. So one thing I say to Malcolm, you're right to a degree. We can't answer your whys because we don't know your story. Right. You know your story.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
And until you divulge your story unfiltered to that professional that understands the mind, they can help you with that why.
You ever had anybody, and I'm sure to answer the question, but I'll ask it anyway. Anybody ever had your best, one of your best friends, you know what I mean? The nigga you would ride for, do anything for, just snake you, just turn on you and shit?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. That shit right there can fuck you up. Now, that question, right? When you get around to, if you ever get around to speaking to that person and you ask, yo, what was the reason? Why did you do that?
You held on to that for a long time.
Why did that shit happen? Why did you do with the thing that you did? That answer from that motherfucker will never, ever satisfy you.
I never asked
never
that
be a
question.
satisfactory.
But
it's not even a question worth asking.
I don't want to know the answer.
I mean,
sometimes it's not even a question worth asking.
The problem is you putting too much into one person. You can't. I mean, you gotta expect that.
You can't help it. I mean, we social creatures.
You
always gonna have. Unless you are.
Well, that's true. But what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you should have learned from that though.
Yeah,
but you can't put too much into one person.
The betrayal turns into hate. The betrayal,
but you gotta dissect it though. You have to,
and it shouldn't.
I'm not hurt.
I feel like it's something that you have to dissect though to understand. That way, you never fall victim to that situation again. You know,
you gotta dissect everything.
It has to be. And I'm a fucking analytical motherfucker because I dissect shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to make sure that I understand the circumstance. Because why? Because I gotta live in life and I can't repeat.
Live in your body. Exactly.
I don't want to repeat these same instances and these same mistakes over and over. So when I see certain behaviors in certain people, now I know just from dissecting certain behaviors in the past circumstances tell you what happened. It predict future behaviors. Okay.
That could be bad. That could be bad and good.
That can be bad and good, but you know what? It's the way that I choose to live. You know what I mean? So when I notice certain things in people, I veer away from people just because I've seen those same behaviors before.
So my question is, what are you protecting yourself from? Why do you have that wall up?
I had to protect myself at all costs, bro.
You got a wall up though.
History repeating itself.
No. Let him answer the question.
Because
let him answer the question.
In my life, any chess players in here?
I played one time, but I was years ago.
I played chess.
Chess is the deepest game.
Yeah, I hear
there could ever be, bro. It's the deepest game there could ever be, and it mirrors life.
So what are you trying? What are you trying
to protect yourself from?
Well, what's the most important piece on the chessboard? The king.
The king.
Right? Okay.
When you capture the king, the game's over.
Okay.
In my life, I'm the king.
I like that.
Checkmate.
Okay.
In my life, I'm the king.
But you got to answer the question.
I'm the king on the chessboard, so I protect that. I protect that at all costs, because if somebody checkmates me, the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Explain that. Give me a scenario where a person can get checkmated and the game's over.
Yeah.
There's various circumstances.
Definitely.
To you.
If you can,
Good
if
question.
me and you rolled out somewhere, right? We went
Okay.
out for the night, right? I got fucking drunk as shit. I'm the one that drove, right? I got drunk as shit. You rode with me, right? You know I'm fucking fucked up, too fucked up to be driving. I talk that shit. I'm sure that we've all been in this circumstance before.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in an accident with a motherfucker because I was gonna drive, and I let this stupid motherfucker convince me I'm good to go, bro. Nah, I'm good. And actually, he told me let me drive halfway, and then before we get to the gate, I'll jump out in the passenger seat. You could drive through the gate to get back on base and shit, right? How stupid is that? I'm a sober motherfucker, and I listen to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And but that's what I'm. Excuse me. That's what I'm. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to.
Jelly.
A circumstance like that, right? Would you let yourself get in the passenger seat of a car in a situation with a motherfucker you know is too drunk to drive just because he's telling
your
you?
Situation, though, you gotta control your situation.
Okay. So in that situation, it boils down to, well, common sense ain't common,
Right?
but it's a judgment call. But how do you get checkmated in that situation? Game over.
Oh, game was almost over for us, bro.
How?
He doing something like
He put himself
And the
in a
reason why I'm
compromising
asking, and
position. He put himself in a compromise.
We actually
Okay.
jumped the curb, bro. The car actually jumped the fucking curb, and then we spun around.
Wow.
okay.
Some crazy
So
shit.
basically,
we
he
landed
was
on
not
top of the wheels and shit. We landed right side up, but it was just correct. The whole situation how it went,
So-
I was just like,
So basically, he was compromised. He got behind the wheel, and
but that's
you know,
his
y'all
problem.
jumped the curb.
My problem was me, and I made the mistake of actually getting in that car with the motherfucker when I should have said I knew better, and I still made that decision to jump in that
Okay.
car. That's a decision I will never make, bro. I will never make that decision
So
again.
Okay, so that's using some logic.
Right.
Your logic, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Because
What
that
if
was
somebody
almost
was-
checkmate, brother. That
What if somebody
situation
was
right there.
driving that knew how to drive, they were sober, everything was good, and they still jumped the curb?
Yeah, and they can
How do
still
you
happen.
protect
Right.
yourself against that?
And it can still happen, but you can't predict everything. I mean, it's not
That's-
a 100%.
Shit.
Okay,
drive
and that's
himself.
But
that's
in
the
certain
point.
circumstances, you can predict how shit is gonna go. If you got a friend,
Judgment
that-
call.
and these are situations I've always been in. If you got a friend, I had a friend that it was probably about 90% for certain this motherfucker was gonna be fighting at the end of the fucking night in the club and shit. You know what I mean? We're going out every time we bring this motherfucker out. This motherfucker gets into it somehow or another. It's always pointing the fingers. Always somebody else's fault. But however, every time involved him in one way or another. Every instance involved this motherfucker one way or another. You know what? Certain things that happen, man. I'm telling you, they better. The chances are it's gonna predict a certain outcome. You understand what I'm saying? So
these sound like judgment calls.
there's judgment
good
calls.
judgment
That's
calls.
what life is full of. Is judgment calls of decisions. How many decisions do we make a day? You make thousands of decisions a day.
Yep, you sure do.
So
You know
let's
what I'm saying?
rewind. So let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go back because we got the judgment thing down, which everybody should be using good judgment on the panel, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm trying to get to you building this wall up to keep people out. And you don't see this wall.
Well, so I would have to know exactly.
You got a wall, and then you got judgment.
And
you've created this bubble.
Yeah.
To protect yourself from something.
Right.
What do you protect yourself from?
I see where you're getting at. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're taking that the judgment. I see where you're going with that.
Judgment is a natural process of you evolving as a person just with age and experience through trial and error. And you figure it out and you make good judgment calls. But when we have built up these psychological walls to keep people out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We're not
so I
having
probably
that
felt
discussion.
like I've been like I've been turned against, like motherfuckers have turned against me too many times in life. You know what I mean? And my fault in the situation is I've allowed that to happen. Like, we go back to the situation where, like I said, you point the finger at a motherfucker. Okay, fine. You know, you did this. You did that to me. You're in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was in the situation, so I can't absolve myself of the responsibility of being in that situation.
Okay, now let's go back to what your dad told you. You know, you're blaming somebody else, but you got three fingers pointing back at you.
Right,
So it's your
exactly.
responsibility.
Yeah, it's
This
your
is your-
responsibility to not be in that situation. So
Okay,
you
now
know
this is
what?
your-
That's what I'm saying. When I recognize certain tendencies in a motherfucker, I'm like, man, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can't fuck with that person. Like,
So
I'm not
Ain't
getting
nothing
in
wrong with that
situations.
though. Nothing wrong
So-
with that. If
so
you
you
see it,
have
yeah.
so you have this programming of what dad laid down. You live
Yeah.
by that. That's your thing, right?
Yeah.
So what the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make here is there's certain things in life that it's okay for it to be somebody else's fault and not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point I'm trying to convey to you, because you've created this proverbial bubble, and it keeps people out for whatever reason. But it goes back to your programming, and everything is not your responsibility. We live in a world where people have free will to do things.
Right.
You got to use a judgment call.
You can't
But
control everything.
You can't blame
Absolutely.
yourself. You can't blame yourself for that. You
But
cannot blame yourself for that, Malcolm.
everything, and this is something I
And that prevents you
that
from letting
everybody
people in.
should do. But you have to dissect instances that happen. Too many times, what I don't do is I don't dissect the good shit. You know what I mean? I don't go back and put the same scrutiny under the good outcomes that happen and why those happens the way I do with the bad. Some of the shit that happens that's fucked up, I fucking overly dissect that shit because I don't never want to experience that shit again. You know what I'm saying? I'll never want to go through that shit again. So I overly dissect. I find myself overly dissecting those types of circumstances and the decisions that I made, my part in it, and the decisions that I made that could have offered a different result. And then I make those changes, you understand, to my life so I don't never experience that shit again. So, I mean, that's my way of doing shit. That's the way I live the life. Is what got me where I'm at. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the best way. I don't know. It's just my way. You know what I mean?
It's what our elders call hardened. When a person becomes hardened to things, they have a shell.
Right.
And they at all costs they make sure that
Arthur.
shell is up where it,
Right.
nothing can get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's like I
Let
built
that
a fucking
shell break,
castle
boy.
in this
That shit gonna
motherfucker,
hurt.
yo.
That shit
And
gonna
that's a
hurt,
relative
man.
thing. And that's a relative thing. For some people that's bad, and some people, that works for them. We're not here to judge if it's good or bad.
You done built up that fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. I didn't even notice that it could be looked at that way. But yeah, I don't like new motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I don't like new niggas.
I feel you though. You
It's a
got to
vetting process.
evaluate it. You got to
It's a vetting
evaluate it
process.
first.
Yeah, it's a vetting
Judgment.
process,
Yeah.
man.
You got to
know what I mean?
evaluate who you let in your universe, because
That's why
everybody got their own universe.
I kind of hold on to people I grew
Yeah.
up with and shit, is because it's like, yo,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of new motherfuckers. And shit,
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
Way, man.
It's some familiarity in that.
Yeah.
Right. You know what you
That's
used
why I
to.
don't hang out with nobody ever since all y'all niggas split.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know,
have new friends down
no
here either.
niggas, dog.
I don't have friends down here. I don't have people to come. I don't have.
Right. Yeah,
Been for
you
10
feel me?
years.
And I'm in Los Angeles and shit.
Good judgment
I'm
calls.
2,800 miles away.
Think
from
of it.
shit.
Think of it. The ones I'm closest to is what? Dre, Andre.
Yeah.
If I can't track your roots back to the old country, man, it's not. I gotta be able to trace your roots, man. See where you start from.
Yeah, I consider these niggas like family to me because we go back so far.
We
so
go back
far.
to where y'all ain't had
Yeah.
shit and y'all was
Yeah.
getting through life
Trace
trying to
the
figure
roots.
out
Yeah.
shit. So you know the motherfucker character, you know the motherfucker what's in his heart. It's kind of
Yeah.
hard to find out when you just read Ray and shit the other day. And he cool and y'all laughing and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
This motherfucker steal your cell phone to help you looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Or he get other people to scan your house. Oh, he got a PlayStation.
Right.
He got an
Yeah.
Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, come on back. Yeah.
Dude, I'm super,
Let
man.
niggas know when I leave my house or anything. I don't let niggas know about anything. I keep my shit fucking.
Yeah.
Even on Facebook, I don't let no nigga that knowing that I'm work on schedule, like on shit is on schedule. Anything I post is always.
Yeah, you
little.
shouldn't. Yo, because
Hell.
cats that rob houses, that's what they look for. They watch everything you do.
You know I don't know if we're off topic. You know they have a thing down here that they follow FedEx and UPS trucks around and watch them
Yeah,
drop
see,
off
that's what
packages.
Yeah. I've been hearing that. Yeah, that's been for years. I've been hearing that for years.
They be doing that in Asbury, but they don't do it in Neptune. Neptune's been good lately. I've been ordering shit, been lucky, but I've been kind of scared
Yo
too.
boxing.
I ain't really been having that problem because I'm an Amazon fucking freak.
Me too.
me
I
too.
gotta have some home.
Nigga, something come every other day from me or my girl.
I done
my
personally
daughter.
deposited money in Jeff Bezos' account. Fuck.
I love
Yeah, shit,
Amazon,
man.
yo.
That was dope. How we tackled this taboo thing in our communities and stuff, man. And like Dre said, as far as find out the reason why and stuff, man. And you know, we're no doctors here, but you know, our some advice, you know, the stuff that we've been through, our testimonials and things, man. Like depression is real. If you know somebody in your life that had, you know, that's showing the symptoms of that, man, you know.
Yo, my daughter, man, my daughter, I didn't even know she was going through it, man. That's some years ago.
Wow.
You know, her mother kind of knew, but she didn't tell me. But now that I talked to her now, she was like, she wanted to see what the other side was like. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
Telling me this, but she wrote a book on it, and she make a lot of money off this book. She go out to malls and be hustling this book. Yo, she be making like $200, $300 a day. So I'm like, damn, I need to quit my shit and go with you.
You should go help
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
with your daughter. Shit.
But she was telling me, you know, she was because she was homeschooled.
Yes, sir, Pablo.
For a period. And she said she's going on social media, all these kids showing all the stuff they got and they happy. And she got depressed. Like, I couldn't have this. They got let me say this.
Go ahead. Let me say this, and we were talking about this last other day. Now, you know, we always talk about, you know, us being held down and stuff. This is this day right now, 2022. A regular motherfucker like me and yourself can go out, get something done, and make a lot of money, and don't have to get into any doors or sit at any tables. You know, that shit's out, man. So there's no reason or any obstruction to why you can't find a niche and capitalize off it and be and become a millionaire or
and she did it. She did it. I gotta respect her for that. She did that.
You cannot. You don't have
and she used her depression to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She got another book coming out. I gave her ideas for the other book.
Well, you should get some percentages there. Yeah, man. But
gave her ideas. Oh shit, man, she gonna have issues. Dog. No, I'm just fucking. I said you gave her ideas.
No. Well, her book is called "Struggles of a Teenager."
So she
first book.
Question, so that's good too, because I know you got.
Yeah, she asked me. So that's more so dealing with what teenagers go through. Yeah, trying to be accepted, all that type of shit.
That's some deep shit too, right there. Because we all got kids and shit, and like, how the hell do you raise a kid up in this type of environment, especially a young black man, bro? Especially
I didn't know she was going through that.
Yeah, we
not like that. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know.
I didn't know.
It was exposed to them even earlier, man. They got the internet now. They get to see the world from a vision that it's not even really real from the vision. A lot of people just put images. That's what caught her.
What you saying? She
fell into that world, like saying how everybody look happy on the internet.
Yeah, oh my God,
not out in school, dealing with cheerleaders,
not real life, but on the fake life, internet shit. Yeah,
and she told me that made her depressed. I didn't know, but she told me that. I'm like, wow.
I think a lot of women go through that, man, because they all post up. All these women post up pictures of living their best life, and then they hold women to a standard where you have to, as a woman, you have to match that. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of women are falling victim to that shit. You know what I mean? A lot of our daughters, a lot of our women that we deal with are falling victim to having to live up to a false life. False lifestyle because I'm gonna
tell you right now, the reality shows, Basketball Housewives, all that.
Yeah,
they will really fuck with you off of that. See how he doing this and that. They drinking wine all day, making
forcing women to live up to a standard that's unrealistic and
it's unrealistic. Yeah, true.
Keeping up with the Joneses mentality, man. Yeah, I hate that shit. You are who you are.
Man, everybody got it bad right now because we all trying to mimic something that's not even real.
Unrealistic,
so we all got issues on that, especially the kids, because they got to grow up and they don't see nothing else.
It's different from us. We didn't have that.
Like if you don't get enough likes and shit, you know what I mean? That
ain't
that crazy? Ain't that some crazy shit?
That is crazy shit.
That shit means nothing to me, bro. Like I don't have
got enough like I don't give a fuck.
What do y'all think about them getting rid of dislikes on? What do y'all think about them getting rid of the dislikes on YouTube? I mean, you can't. They won't know.
I didn't even know they was doing that. They talking about getting rid of them.
Everybody's sensitive now, man. So I
didn't know that shit. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So you could dislike. I didn't know you could dislike some shit.
You can dislike it, but it won't show up. Like you see a video that has.
Okay, well if you don't see it, then
you talking about on YouTube?
Yeah, you can't see dislikes anymore. You can't see the stat on that. So it's just all likes. So if you see a trash.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it did have
that shit used to be funny to me because I used to comment like if I see like I watch like an old Nas video or some shit And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong that 211 people dislike this song?
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas?
Yo, but I think some people do it on purpose. They just do it on
Yeah,
purpose.
yeah. Some people trolling
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
they just want to be trolls.
Well, that's never. They took that shit away. You can't even see that shit now.
Yeah.
Real shit. Pablo Chalk says it's definitely hard. The world is so different now. Different world and environment requires us to adapt and change the way we parent. That is true.
But it's always going to be that way. It's always going to evolve. We're going to have more technology. So you got to adapt, and you got to just you basically got to adapt.
Technology, and we all know technology is gonna take over this shit.
It's gonna keep taking over.
I feel bad for my kids too because I'm
his own engine. It's creating his own.
I'm a fucking caveman and shit, bro. So I feel bad for my kids, bro.
Watch Black Mirror, yo. Even though it's a show, but watch that shit because it show you how people would think differently. You know,
niggas gonna live through that reality. We ain't even gonna live that no more. It ain't gonna be a such thing.
Now you see them episodes, man. That shit happening now.
That shit crazy. Yo, they had an episode where your life depends on your likes. You can meet somebody. You can meet somebody. You can meet somebody within 2 minutes and they'll change your whole rating. And now you can't get on flights. You can't do it. Yo, that's
what show is this?
Watch Black Mirror, yo. Black Mirror crazy as hell.
Black Mirror.
That's called a social credit system. They got that shit in China. That's a real thing. They're trying to bring that here.
Crazy as fuck, yo.
Leave that where it's at.
She had to act nice because she couldn't get on the flight. She pissed the flight attendant up with a lady at the desk.
Wasn't she trying to buy a house or some shit and she didn't have enough?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, but she tried to catch a flight to go to her friend's wedding.
Yo, you know it could be depressing is not being able to even keep up in a world like this, in a world where we're going to, because I can't keep up with this shit, bro. I'm a fucking dinosaur. And shit.
They got 1,000 viruses coming out every fucking second.
Depressing, nigga.
Look at us right now.
But the kids will be fine. The kids will be fine. They'll be more. They're gonna.
The kids will be fine.
Because they growing up in it.
The kids
hard for us.
The kids know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on.
Kids are doing PowerPoint in school, man. And my daughter knew Excel when she was like 10 years old. Like, these kids, they know how to get online. Like we've been on both sides. We know how it is not to have it. So we appreciate it. And
they don't know what it is
not to have. Afraid of the technology too. They don't want to, like my dad. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He used to call it internet, and all he knew computer was the internet.
On that internet.
He didn't want nothing.
Think about it. Think about it. Beepers. We dealt with beepers. Nowadays, if they had beepers,
right?
You'd be like, what the fuck? I gotta call this number back. I can't just pick up my phone. Like that's crazy.
Change the pocket, man. My beeper.
Yo, and payphones. Think about that though. We had payphones. What? Maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
I seen the payphone the other day. I'm like, we still got
you. Did? Where you see the payphone at?
Man,
you saw payphone.
They still have them at airports and shit.
They hardly work.
Oh yeah. Probably at airports.
No
lose all your money in Vegas. Deal where you.
You remember they was on the street though.
You can use them overseas and shit. If I don't know who has a phone plan that don't. Like you can't use your phone overseas, but I guess some people may have that plan and shit.
Yo, you used to get your little beep. You had your little honey for the night.
Hey, remember the SkyTel pages? We thought them things was the future.
I never had one.
The weather on it.
Yeah, I had one.
Oh, you talking about the one? Okay, I know you talking.
You're gonna one day.
I don't think I've had SkyTel.
You're gonna buy who you are, how you look. You're
two ways. What I was thinking.
In the future, you're gonna be able to buy who you imagine yourself to be. They're gonna have everything for them. If they're gonna have
I'm not built for that, bro. I'm not built for that. I'm gonna be the old man on the fucking yelling at kids.
No,
and
you're
shit.
not.
Get
You're
off
gonna
my
be
lawn
sitting there like, yo, where do I get me one at?
Yeah.
Do they take credit card?
Yo, I'm definitely married. Yo, now let me stop. Let me stop.
Yo, but they got that show now. They got that show on YouTube. I forgot what it's called.
If they make the dolls right in the future, I think I'd rather be with a doll.
Oh, come on, Pa. That's bad. Man, you want some?
Hey, you might have a point, bro. You might have a point.
You got done. Hey, they gonna argue with you.
Yeah,
I know what I'm saying. They might have a point.
It's gonna give you what you want.
The only one thing I need from fucking opposite sex anyway.
Oh man, there you go.
You have a room full of dolls.
Yo, this Bonita right here over here is
this chin. You got every race. Got an Oriental one, got a black one. You know what? I'm spelling Spanish tonight. Let me go with
Y'all the fleshlight niggas. Y'all the niggas that buy that fleshlight.
Oh, the flashlight.
Hey, yo, y'all know what that shit is?
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know y'all niggas know what it
Rick's-
is. I know y'all
Rick's
niggas-
crazy.
Motherfucking flashlight, nigga. If you
Yo,
watch
I never heard
porn,
that shit before. Yo.
yo, if you watch porn, they broadcast it. Y'all don't watch porn before. Don't act like y'all never watch
Oh,
porn.
Fucking
Yeah, you just
flashlight.
remember what
I
that
never
is.
seen that shit on no porn. I never watched no porn
Yo,
flashlight shit.
Pot thinking. Pot gonna go get one.
Yo, one of my coworkers, he said his wife bought him one and shit to take on deployment.
Damn,
And
she
shit.
didn't want to be with him.
The wife bought him one? Oh, that's different.
To take
The
when
wife
we
bought-
on when we on deployment, nigga. When we gone for 3-4 months at a time, she bought him one to take.
because she don't want him to cheat.
Using that, and they dead. This shit crazy, man.
Yo,
Nah,
but
not right there. I don't,
Nah,
I don't-
nah,
I
but
can't
what he
speak for
talking
them niggas,
about-
But I'm just listening. I'm just repeating what he said. That's what. He
yeah,
said.
nah,
He
but
said
he
wife-
talking about she don't want him to cheat with no exotic pussy.
Yeah,
You're
That's
right.
all that
we
is.
ain't getting no pussy overseas, nigga. We're not getting any pussy overseas.
Y'all
We're on
ain't?
a
What the
fucking
fuck,
ba-
y'all?
We're on a fucking base, man. We're on a
Gotta stay on
military
base.
base. You can't.
Oh, so
fucking
y'all
leave.
never go out? Y'all never go
No,
out?
you can't.
Ain't
You're
no
not
way.
allowed to,
Oh,
nigga. You might get
damn.
fucking
Oh, how
shot
you know?
leaving the fucking base, nigga. You can't go.
Oh
nowhere.
shit, you in the
How
militant
many
shit.
flashlights
Oh,
you got,
shit.
Smooth? How many you got?
I never heard of this shit before, nigga. That's the first time I ever heard of that
All
shit.
right, nigga.
Yeah, he got a couple.
It's a
left.
fucking flashlight with a mouth
I'm
on
old
the front
school,
of
nigga. I'm old
Nigga got
school,
nothing.
man.
Nigga
You don't know that
got
about me by now, nigga.
it.
You know I'm old school. I don't use no fucking
got no
new updated fucking
Pot, what
get
you
that.
laughing at?
I take that.
old school, nigga.
it's a
I don't
fucking
want to go
flash-
into details, nigga, but I'm old school.
It's
nigga.
a
This girl get him
flashlight with a
mad, he
mouth
gonna
on
fuck
it.
Good with that.
Oh shit.
Old school, nigga. Jergens, man. Jergens, bro.
Okay, well that flashlight gonna jerk for you.
Nigga, this is new technology, nigga. I don't know this shit. I never heard of this shit before, nigga.
I wish they outlaw these sex stores that have all these machines and shit that twist different ways and warm up and vibrate Christmas jingles and shit.
I ain't never been in a sex store in my life. nigga.
Christmas
I don't know
jingles.
what the fuck this shit
What
is.
you talking about? What?
Vibrating Christmas jingles and
Why
shit.
is it Christmas jingles? Yeah.
Bluetooth and shit.
Spencer's, man.
Yeah.
Spencer's, they have the little
can't
cards
compete
and
with
shit.
that.
You know what I mean?
I can't
They
compete
still
with
do
that.
that
Damn, I
shit.
ain't seen Spencer's in the long. They don't have
There's a little
Spencer's.
I see that's how old I am, nigga. I don't
Toothpaste mix.
Trey, they got Spencer's here? Do they got-
I don't know,
I don't
nigga.
remember.
I was
This shit
talking about back in
here
the day.
makes
We used to go
Spencer's
get
like
the dice.
Mr.
Remember the
Rogers'
dice?
neighborhood.
Y'all
They
niggas
do got
remember that shit?
Spencer's. They do got Spencer's.
They had one
This
out,
one in
out
Savannah.
in the Mama's Mall.
Okay.
You used to go get the dice and shit, nigga. The dice, you get the fucking edible fucking
Man.
you know, shit.
This
I'm
place
old
out
school,
there-
nigga. I can't tell you what the fuck is going on.
This
in
place
my
out
business.
Nigga, you old school like Seaview Mall.
Rogers
Yeah,
neighborhood.
exactly.
You
This
old
place
school
is-
like Seaview Mall.
Right, Seaview Mall, man.
Yeah,
Real
man.
shit.
That was a dinosaur, bro. Fucking caveman, bro.
Hot Sam's out this motherfucker.
On a platter.
Hot Sam's out this. Whoa, what Hot Sam's? It's pretzels. Why you
That's
bring
what
that up?
Dre. Dre was the Hot Sam man. Dre was the Hot Sam dude. He worked in that
Oh,
press.
you worked at Hot Sam's?
Hell yeah, CV Square Mall.
And I worked at Sears, man.
And I had a cat who used to show up at my job every day and just chill all day because he had nothing else better to do.
Damn.
Me.
Hey, you want to say no name?
At the counter and shit, just chilling.
I worked at Great Adventures, man, before I went to basic, man. That was the summer of my life right there, man.
Yeah, I did that great adventure shit too.
Yup. We was chilling after the park, bro. These, we
That
trying
was a good time. Great Adventures. Great
I
Adventures.
did that shit one day, man. I lasted one
What?
day doing that shit. Yeah.
man, they had
I
me
never
try to
went
dress me
back.
up in a
You
fiddler.
was a
outfit.
groundsman. You was a groundsman. Why?
I felt like you had to go.
I worked
You had to
at,
go to the
I worked at
motherfucking.
HBO. I was a food service dude. But the first day they tried to dress me up like a fiddler, had a little hat and some capri pants on. I changed the pot of that, bro.
I was
Let
the
the man
grounds-
see me and cracked on me, man. But like,
Oh,
what the fuck
shit.
is that on your,
Oh,
what's that on your
shit.
head? It was in backstage and shit, man. I'm like, yo, after that, I said, I can't wear
Couldn't
this
do it
no
no
more, man. I'm all tall and shit. Like the little
Man,
high
my
top
idol.
and shit.
My idol, man. He tried.
Fucking Method Man there. Like, what up,
man?
Matt? What up, Meth? What the fuck
Yeah.
is that on your head? Like,
I feel like you thought. I feel like you thought you
Oh,
was
shit.
meth back in the day. Huh?
I was on the Rolling Thunder with LL Cool J when we never seen him without his hat off.
Yo, Wad, I remember I cracked when you were at Great Adventures had Inspector Deck laughing at you. Cause you remember when they came to Great Adventures?
Yeah.
Method Man, all them.
Right.
And,
You was out there too. That's right.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, but you had a whack ass uniform on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, bro.
That's what you just talking about. Free
you
just got back. Bro. Free-
Yeah.
Method Man, dog.
Yo, I cracked on your uniform. He started laughing. I'm like, look at this nigga out here with this. I forgot what I said.
I
This
tell you,
and that.
I never wear that uniform again. They fire me.
Oh,
that trauma,
shit.
boy. That's that trauma
Have you
right
dress
there.
up like I
Childhood
had
trauma, baby.
I dressed up like a German and shit at Oktoberfest.
But we all shit. A lot of us worked at Great Adventures, man. Think about
I
it.
did for one
Yeah.
day, nigga. I lasted at that motherfucker one
Why'd
day.
you
I
work
was
there? What you
I
doing?
worked there a whole
I
summer.
forget.
Nigga.
I can't
What you
remember. I
do
think
there,
I was
I was
like
still a nigga. I turned to a thief when I was out there.
I was
I
a
ain't want to say
backup
nothing,
nigga.
cool, but you said it, nigga.
Hey, they caught me, man.
I was a
caught me.
trainee, man. I was a backup nigga and
Cool.
shit. Yo.
I see
But
this-
I felt like you had to ride a bus to get there and shit. You had to
Yeah,
do a
you
whole
did.
bunch-
You did. Yeah, we had to go to. I think we went to Neptune High School for
Yeah,
that.
Neptune
though.
High School, dog.
We went to Neptune High School to get
Asbury
there.
had a bus too. Asbury
They
had a
did?
bus that went there. Yeah.
I know I went to Neptune.
I went
High
to. I
school.
caught that bus one day, nigga, and then I couldn't wait to get the fuck off. Then
What
you
you
had to
work
catch.
at over there, Malcolm? What was you doing? Why'd you quit?
I was a backup nigga, man. I can't remember. I was a trainee nigga.
Yo, I remember Herc was scared of them monkeys in the safari. Herc was like, "Hey, man."
Herc was out there.
Yeah, Herc. Yeah, Herc did. You remember Herc worked there? He was scared of the monkeys because the monkeys was crazy out there.
Like the monkeys got to get a crack the glass.
Yeah, because it was because me. I know Rick's worked there. Me, Rick's, Jose, and Herc worked out there.
Yeah, I worked in.
Damn, everybody worked at Great Events.
Yeah, we
So you
all
worked
summer.
in
We
games?
worked out there one summer. We all was out there one
day
summer.
and shit.
Jose had
I
the
was
best
fucking
job there.
I worked on the
Security
grounds, man, picking up paper and shit, hot ass trash and
I
shit.
think that's what I was doing. I think that's what they had me doing, yo.
You got to
groundskeeper.
walk around. Shit.
Yeah.
That's what's
had
up.
a blue and green uniform on with a fucking baseball cap.
I had my regular
remember that.
clothes.
Like
They
a
was
park ranger.
It was
Yo, but we
hot
was able to.
as
We
hell
was able
out
to.
there.
Yo, we was
Yeah.
able to ride the rides for free though. That's
Hell
one good
yeah.
thing we had.
Man, I'm sitting there.
I
This
didn't get
girl,
on no rides that
she
one
I
was-
done
day,
rode
man.
every fucking thing out
She was
there.
in love with
man.
Jose.
Man, niggas used to smoke weed on that. You remember the little skyscraper? Niggas
Right,
used to
right.
smoke weed on that.
Oh yeah.
I remember D Black. I
I
remember D Black. Yeah, they was trying to sell weed out there. He used to come on that little
Come
skyscraper.
on, man. Hey, it had cameras all over the place, man. You'd be stupid
Back
if you
then?
tried to do anything.
Back
Yo,
in the
people
90s,
selling
they did?
weed out there, man. They were selling weed out there.
Yeah, about to say shit, boy. Shit, we used to
was
stop
selling
at
weed
that
out there.
McDonald's and shit and fill up the drinks,
Jackson,
the McDonald's
Jackson.
drinks.
Right,
yeah,
right.
the one right there before you get there.
I had a
We
whip.
pour out the drinks and then pour like a 40 in there or pour, whatever drink you was gonna have in there and shit, and then get in and shit and just have that McDonald's cup.
I think that's when we met. What's her name? You know, the girls that was from Lakewood. Rich remember
Yeah.
that.
I met
Yeah.
a lot of Willenboro.
In Willenboro. A lot of Willenboro
passed
chicks out
away.
there too.
She passed
Yeah, she
away.
passed in a car accident or something, right?
Really?
That was
I
years
was
ago.
talking about two
Yeah.
light skinned girl.
That
Well,
was
she
like
Puerto Rican.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
man.
Puerto Rican chick.
I know you're talking about. I forget her name though. She was
Oh,
always
it
the
was
one that had her
Amanda.
girlfriends and shit. She was
Amanda?
bringing them
That
around.
Yeah, she always had girls with her. Yeah.
I think it was Amanda.
It was another crew from Lakewood too. That's what. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was y'all. I remember y'all.
One night we
Matter
ended
of
up
fact,
in
they went to your spot. Where your people was at, man.
That's
They was
right.
chilling over there. I remember that one because they was
Hey.
over there.
Y'all, one time we ended up in Lakewood at some welfare hotel, man. We was trying to mac and these R&B cats came around, start singing and shit, man. But they came out. Fucking Drew Hill came out of nowhere and shit.
Did they take the girls or what?
Nah, man, we got up on out of there, bro. It was a trap in there, one way in, one way out, man.
Oh,
we
damn.
didn't get too much time in there. It was on off of Route 9, one of them hotels.
Everything off of Route 9.
Kids
yeah,
running
yeah.
around, strollers and shit. The hotel looked like the Best Western on a bad day.
Yeah.
He was in there. Some R&B cats came around and stuff, fucking troop and shit, start singing and shit. Like, oh, they can sing.
I used to hate that shit, man.
Horse and
Yo,
bees
you
around a
know,
fucking trash
Horse
can.
and
and shit.
bees.
But you used to come around with a portfolio. You wasn't no different, nigga.
All right, guys, that'll be it for the day.
Greens got
man,
taken
leave
away,
alone,
man. You see
Come
that
on,
shit?
man.
Yeah.
No,
Why
like
about
that.
to
Portfolio?
Why I was about
Nah.
to shut the show down?
What?
That portfolio, man.
Yeah, you got the
I
after
remember
show
that.
too, man. Don't forget about the after
So
show.
don't forget about the after show, man.
Fans can't see that part, man.
Right. Just if you know anyone just suffering from thinking of contemplating suicide or depression, please call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's 8255. Once again, I want to thank the chat, the panel. Pablo Chalk, thanks for intervening today. RTO Beats, Joanne, the trolls that came in I have deleted. See Me Hustle, DJ Rec. Want to thank everybody.
Today?
Yeah,
Yeah, what the hell was that? That deleted as soon as I saw that, man.
delete. So yeah, thank y'all. Next time.
I should've-
Join us. next week for episode number 38. Please don't forget to check out the POD podcast, 10 p.m. Brainwashed on Heavy Media or POD, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Please go check out the Zero Noise podcast on YouTube as well. Well, thanks again for Brother Morty, Lawrence Howard Potts, Smooth, Coop, Jersey Son, and DJ Wild Bye saying, be safe, peace and love. Peace on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
I think I'm gonna go and make me some burgers and stuff.
Some jergens.
Some burgers.
Burgers in the deep fry? They're not the deep fry. The air fry. Air fry.
Oh, okay. Why it sounded like Crazy Eddie.
Hey, remember that nigga?
Yeah,
Crazy Eddie!
Insane.
That nigga had to run to Europe and shit.
Here's a cokehead.
He was embezzling. Yeah, he was embezzling that money.
Yo, man, we should do a show on your portfolio.
Rich, you remember that shit? I know I remember.
I don't want to talk about that portfolio, man. Oh, man.